Jim.
Danny!
Jim!
Danny!
Go! Jim! Gotta be boss! You, Jim!
What's up, YouTube? So if you don't already know, that opening clip, that was water, so I was just messing around. That was not alcohol. And let me start off by saying the legal drinking age in the United States is 21 years or older, so if you're under 21, I do not promote the consumption of alcohol. But the question is, for anyone of legal drinking age, can you consume alcohol and still make gains in the gym? And the answer is yes. And this is all going to come back to calories in versus calories out, guys, and I'm going to keep saying it, because if you're consuming more calories than you're expending, then you're going to be gaining weight and probably putting on some fat. And there are calories in alcohol, so the most important thing with anything, really, but with alcohol, it's moderation. So if you want to have a drink or two, you want to come home, have a beer or a glass of wine, it's really going to have no effect on you whatsoever. It's just going to be a little bit of extra calories. Just track them, and you're going to keep making progress in the gym. So what we want to talk about is excessive drinking. How's that going to affect you? So first of all, when you're excessive drinking, that's going to be a lot of added calories for your daily amount. So how can we get around that? So what I like to do is I get up in the morning and I like to drink a lot of water. I have a multivitamin, and throughout the day I keep my meals light, and I keep my protein high and my carbs low and my fats low, because most importantly, you want to keep your protein high. You want to keep it at where you want to keep your protein where you're normally going to be hitting it. So like I said, I recommend at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're cutting, like I said in my previous video, more in the like 1.1 to 1.3 range, depending on certain factors. So you want to get your protein in for sure. So I like to have like egg whites. I'll have a lot of chicken, and then like salad and vegetables. Get some micronutrients in there as well. And I drink a lot of water throughout the day, because alcohol dehydrates you a lot. So I keep my protein high and I have all those meals. I get to the night and I got a lot of calories to work with, and I know if I have a certain amount of drinks, I'm gonna be okay, because I took away from my carbs and fats for the day. So, and you want to be careful with this as well, because if your calories are low and you start drinking, I mean, it's probably gonna hit you pretty hard. And I know this from experience. So you probably don't even need to drink that much to be feeling pretty good. So what else can you do? You can make smart drink choices. So if you're having mixed drinks, don't be mixing it with pop or sugary drinks. Mix it with water or diet soda, or just have shots. If you're drinking beer, you can drink light beers, and it's up to you guys. If you want to track your macros on drinking days, because you can track alcohol into your macros. It's actually about 7 calories per gram of alcohol. So you can track those, or you can choose not to. I sometimes do, but sometimes I know that I hit my protein. I make sure I hit my protein. I kept my carbs and my fats low. So I know I've got a ton. Just don't overdo it. And then another key thing is, don't be coming back after a late night of drinking and then having some junk food, like ordering a pizza, just eating crap, because then with all the extra calories from the alcohol, and then that on top of it, you might spill over your calories. And then also, when you've got alcohol in your system, your body's going to metabolize that before anything else. So you're more likely to gain fat when you're in a surplus of calories and eating that junk food, rather than if you're just eating that junk food when you're sober. So avoid late night eating and snacking after a night of drinking for sure, and keep drinking water throughout the night, because like I said earlier, alcohol is going to dehydrate you a ton, and your muscles have a ton of water in them. If you're planning on working out the next day, I mean, your workout's probably going to suffer. So you're probably going to either have to deal, and you might get hungover. I don't know how much you plan on drinking, but you might miss the gym, so you're gonna have to either deal with missing the gym or having a subpar workout. And if you're okay with that, then that's fine. What I like to do is, if, like I said before, drink in moderation. So 1 or 2 drinks, it's not gonna affect you. But if you're drinking an excessive amount, keep it to every now and then. So if I know I'm gonna drink a lot, I keep it to Saturday nights, because Sundays are my off day from weight training. So I know I've got the day to recover, to rehydrate. So that's just my preference. And there are certain occasions where I'll go out and have a few too many, like during the week, but that's so rare. I don't do that very often, and I try to avoid that. And another thing, I mean, if you're prepping for a show, I would not encourage excessive drinking. I'm not prepping for a show. I know a lot of people aren't. So if you're not, I mean, you can still be in great shape and drink alcohol and have a little bit too much from time to time, but don't do it too often. And then there's also studies out there that suggest that the consumption of the excessive consumption of alcohol can lower your testosterone, and there's some studies that say it doesn't. There's some that say it does, and it's mixed reviews. So I'd say it's so little, it's such a little amount that it really does not matter. It might increase your cortisol levels a little bit, but it's really not gonna affect you that way. Here's where it might affect, or here's where it will affect you. Not if you're drinking just a little bit, but if you're drinking in excess, it's gonna affect your post-workout recovery, because it's gonna slow down protein synthesis, which is, the base for your muscles recovering after a workout. So what can you do to help this? Make sure, like I said before, that you're hitting your protein amount on days that you're drinking, and then the next day after that, and have protein right after your workout too, that next day. So, and there's mixed studies on this as well. So it really can only inhibit protein synthesis, from what I've read, about 20 to 30%, which really isn't that much, guys, but it will affect you a little bit. So basically, the overall point here is drink in moderation. And if you're gonna have a night out where you're drinking a lot, you're getting drunk, keep the protein high. Make sure you hit your protein. Your meals throughout the day, get the micronutrients in, keep carbs and fats lower, pull away from that, and then have your drinks, have a good night out. Don't eat junk food when you get back in, and then make sure you're drinking a lot of water, trying to stay hydrated. Next day, if it's a rest day, rehydrate, rest, and recover. If you're working out, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Get some protein in after your workout, because your post-workout recovery, like I said, is going to be affected a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can still drink alcohol and you can still make gains and you can still make progress. It comes back to calories in versus calories out. So stay in that deficit, and you're going to keep making progress in the gym. So don't worry too much. And I also need to say, don't let if you're not prepping for a show, don't let fitness and bodybuilding put a hold on the rest of your life. If you like going out with friends, if you like to drink, there's nothing wrong with that, and you're going to be fine. So when I first got into it, I did not drink at all when I was cutting, and now I do on the weekends, on Saturdays usually, and I've probably made more progress this year than I have in the previous years. So you're definitely going to be fine. So just follow the advice, the points that I just gave you. Well, if not, whatever, then you might get really hungover and not work out the next day. Live with it. But those are just my tips to help you, stay on track as much as possible when drinking alcohol, and everything's going to be fine. So thanks again for watching this video. If you're still here and you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe. If not, then, it's alright. See you in the next one.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though ambition flow inside my DNA.